Whispers beneath the white oak. The morning was heavy with fog, the kind that clings to your skin, whispering that something's not right. When Martha Ellis opened her front door, a barefoot little girl stood on the porch. Her nightgown was damp from dew, her tangled hair stuck to her cheeks, and her gray eyes were wide with terror. "Mrs. Ellis," she whispered, "my mama won't wake up." The coffee cup slipped from Martha's hands, shattering on the steps. Without a second thought, she threw on her coat and ran. They crossed the field behind the Ellis farm, the tall weeds brushing against their knees until the old Holloway house emerged through the mist, once full of laughter and piano songs, now silent, with its windows fogged and curtains drawn tight, as if the house itself was trying to hide its grief. Upstairs, the girl breathed. On the bed lay Evelyn Holloway, beautiful, pale as porcelain, lips slightly parted. Martha felt for a pulse. It was there, but faint. Evelyn was alive, barely. An hour later, Sheriff Ben Crow arrived. He had the kind of presence that made everyone look down when he entered a room. Tall, immaculate, eyes as sharp as a blade. "What happened here, Martha?" he asked calmly. "She's barely breathing. We need a doctor," Martha replied, shaking. "I'll send for one," he said. But the way his eyes drifted past her, cold and detached, made her stomach twist. The ambulance came too fast. The medics said nothing, asked nothing. They carried Evelyn away like someone cleaning up an inconvenience. That night, when fog rolled back over the fields and moonlight painted the town silver, Martha couldn't sleep. She kept seeing that stillness on the sheriff's face, the silence, the way the little girl had clung to her sleeve, trembling, watching men take her mother away. Something in White Oak was very, very wrong. The next morning, Martha drove to St. Rose Hospital. The smell of disinfectant hit her as she walked through sterile white halls. Evelyn lay unconscious, hooked to an IV. Dr. Neil Stanton, a gentle man with tired eyes, pulled Martha aside. "Mrs. Ellis," he whispered. "She's not sick. She's been poisoned, slowly, for weeks." Martha froze. "By who?" He glanced at the security camera above them. "You should go, before they realize I told you." But she didn't go, because Evelyn Holloway wasn't just anyone. She was the woman who had fought back. The only one brave enough to challenge Gardner Oil, the corporation poisoning the town's water in the name of progress. Evelyn had gathered petitions, met with journalists, exposed lies, and now she was silenced. That night, Martha drove to the edge of town, to the creaky farmhouse of Edna Holt, an old woman who had seen too much and forgotten nothing. "They did it again, didn't they?" Edna said, before Martha could speak. "What do you mean, again?" "They did the same to my sister. She sued Gardner Oil. They called her unstable. Then one day, she vanished. By midnight, 5 women sat in Edna's kitchen, faces lit by a single bulb, each clutching old papers, medical records, and letters, pieces of a pattern too dark to ignore. Women who had spoken up, women who had been sick, unstable, or disappeared. Martha's hands shook, not with fear, but with fury. "They think we'll stay quiet," she said. Edna's thin smile didn't reach her eyes. "Then they've never met a woman with nothing left to lose." Down in Edna's cellar, they uncovered the truth. Forged records, fake diagnoses, and signatures leading back to the same names: Sheriff Crow, Mayor Langley, and Gardner Oil's board. Evelyn had been their latest target. A week later, Evelyn woke up. Her first word was her daughter's name. Then she whispered, "They took everything from me." Martha took her hand. "Then we take it back." And they did. For the first time, the women met in daylight, not in whispers, but with courage. They walked together into the courthouse, boots echoing on the marble like a warning. Sheriff Crow turned pale when he saw Evelyn walking, alive, unbroken. "You should have stayed quiet," he hissed. She met his gaze and said softly but clear, "For my daughter's sake, never again." When the trial began, the courthouse overflowed. Reporters, townsfolk, even the men who had once turned away. All came to see the women speak. Evelyn stood at the stand, voice trembling but strong. She told everything: the water, the threats, the nights she couldn't breathe. When the mayor interrupted her, a small voice rose from the back of the room. It was her daughter. "Don't take my mama's home away," she said. "She didn't do anything wrong." The silence that followed was absolute. Even Sheriff Crow lowered his head. Sometimes it takes the smallest voice to make the world listen. Months later, spring came to White Oak again. The Holloway house stood with open windows and lilacs blooming along the porch. Evelyn planted flowers with her daughter, while Martha watched from the gate, smiling through tears. Where the Gardner oil sign once stood, a new one gleamed: community land, protected by the people. Evelyn looked up at the great white oak shading the field. "Everything grows when you stop poisoning it," she said. Her daughter held out a small seed in her hand. "Mama, can I plant my own tree?" Evelyn smiled. "Yes, sweetheart, and when it grows, no one will ever make us afraid again." The sunset poured gold through the branches as laughter filled the air. Not the nervous laughter of survival, but the kind that means freedom. For the first time in years, White Oak breathed again. Not haunted by secrets, but healed by courage.